Hello everyone. From today, we'll start using Power Automate for SharePoint. So for that, we'll create a new SharePoint and we'll create a new list. So first of all, you can click here on this icon, then you go to SharePoint, and here you can create a new site because currently I don't have any site available for me. So I'll simply hit on this site button and I will select for my team site. And I can choose an out-of-the-box template. So let's say let me choose this standard template. And I will click on this and I will say use this template. And I'm going to give a site name. So I can say something like SharePoint training or something like this. SharePoint, let me say training. Yep. And then I can give a description here will be used for SharePoint demos. And then I can click on this next button because everything looks good to me. And then here I can choose the setting and let me keep this one as private only, and language let it be English only. Then I will click on create site button, and then I need to add members here. So for now let me add myself, and let me make myself as a member, not member owner, and let me finish this. Alright, so now the our SharePoint list is ready, so I can close this. You see we have this option like new list here, right? So simply click on this list button and I can choose from create from blank. I will click on list button. Here I can give a name to my list. Let me say this as employee list, and I will hit on this create button. So within few seconds my list is ready now. Now the next thing that I need to do is I will need to add fields here. So let me add a field here. Let me add a number field here. So I will say this as employee ID, and I will keep this as automatic only, and yeah, I will save this and I will create my new field. So what we'll do, we'll simply see this particular Excel sheet. So the next column is department. So okay, this is not wasting, so I will write it manually. So I will say a department, and this would be a string type only. And then we'll create this salary and status column, and a salary will also be a number here. So I'm going to select number, and I will just simply say this as salary, and let me save this. I will add my next column. Let me choose this type as choice because I want to track the status of my employee, whether he is active or inactive. So let me say this as status. In the choice one, I will make sure I'm putting active here, and then I will simply say active. Then I can say this as something like inactive. I will put a space here, and yeah, I will close this one. Okay, so now this is all that we need. Our list is ready now, but I can hide this column, this title. Alright, I can click here. Alright, so now our SharePoint list is ready. So what I will do, I will do CRUD operation in my this new SharePoint list. So for that, let me open my solution. So what we'll do all this operation, CRUD operation, which simply means we'll add a new record, and then we'll also read record, then we'll update a record as well, and then we'll delete the record as well. So let me create a new flow here, and I will say cloud flow. I will click on my instant flow. Here I will say this as SharePoint CRUD operation. SharePoint CRUD operation. And I will select this button, manually trigger a flow. Alright. So let me go to my list. So to navigate to list, I can simply click here on my list, or let me simply go to let me click on home page first. So this is my training site. Here you see this is my list, employee list, the one which we created. All right. So what I will do, I see there are some blank dummy data is there, so I can simply delete it. Okay, so we'll start creating the record. So let me add an input. I will ask for employee ID. I can simply see PID, and I can say here please enter your employee ID, and then let me add data in department field. I will say here simply department. So please enter your department, and employee department, and let me add the salary one as well. So here I will simply choose this as this, and I will say this as salary, not salary. Instead of salary, I will go for status. Here I can say please enter employee status. Employee status. Alright, so now let me click on News tab, and I will simply search for my SharePoint. Alright, I can click on the SharePoint here, and what I will search for create, and I will select this create item 1. I will select this connector, and here we need to pass the site. So we'll select our site, this one, SharePoint training, and here I need to select my list name. What is my list name? My list name is employee list. So I can simply get it from here, employee list. Alright, so now here I can pass my employee ID from here, right? So I can simply search for my employee ID. Okay, so here you see currently we are not getting these fields. So let me try to save this. Okay, so this is saved now. Now let me try to enter. You see still I'm not getting this employee ID, department and status. So what I can do, I can simply use a compose here, and I will say compose. I need my employee ID, right? So I can get it from here, I guess now. See, employee ID is here. So I can simply copy this employee ID, and I'm going to paste it here. Then similarly, I can get, let me try to see if the department is coming. Okay, now it is also coming. So department is there, and let me put the status value. What I will do, I will also fetch this from here, status. Yep, here we go. So I will simply delete this. Let me try to save this flow now. Okay, let me test our flow. I will select manual. I will click on test. And let me continue. Let me give an employee ID. Let me say 35. Let me say department as IT, and status is active. And let me run the flow. Let me click on done. Okay, so the flow runs successfully, and let me just refresh this list. Okay, so here we have the data now, like employee ID, department, and status. Let me add one more record here. I will again add one more record. Here, let me give the employee ID as something like 98, and department, let me again put here, I can say D365. I can say this is also active. Let me see department as finance, run flow, done. Alright, so now we should have two records here. Okay, so here we have seen how we can add a new record. So we have completed this part. Alright, so now let me see how I can iterate through this list. So to iterate through my list, I can simply click on edit. So I can remove these, right, as I don't require them. So what I will do, I will first of all remove this action here. I will simply say delete, because to read anything I don't need to pass anything. And let me delete this. And now I will add a new step here. I will search for my SharePoint. I will click on SharePoint. Yeah, so for that, let me select, or let me search for items here. So you see we have this option, get items. I'm going to select this. So here I can simply select my site address, and I will select my list name, employee list. And here we could put some filter, but we simply want to data, read all the data. I will write a compose here. I will click on my compose, and let's say I want to get the employee ID and department. So I can say employee ID, and then I can say department here. Alright, so let me test this flow now. I will say save and test. And now I will run my flow. Okay, here it is giving me items that we should use this OData queries, but for now that's fine because we want to here OData queries. We'll also see this one later. Let me run the flow, and here you see the flow run successfully. And the thing that you should note here is we are getting this 35 IT, and then we should get our different like 98 finance, this one. Alright, so we have done read, we have done write as well. Now let's try to update a record. Okay, so let us assume let us assume we want to this particular employee ID, currently its status is set to active. Okay, if you go here, currently its status is set to active. Let's say this user is going to leave organization, so let us change this field to inactive state. So how we can do that? So I will say here, so I will ask the user to enter this data. Okay, so let me simply click on input. I will say employee ID, and here what I'm going to say, please enter which record you want to update. And here what we'll do, now we can use this filter query here. Okay, now to use this filter query we'll need to understand one thing. So let me duplicate this tab. I will need the exact field name, employee ID. So let me do one thing. Let me simply, this is employee ID. So let me say employee employee ID equals to From here, the employee ID will be added, right? So I can simply say EPID. Okay, if this matches, then I want to delete a record. So what I will do, as I already have this applied to each available here, so I will delete this action. I will click add an action. I'm going to search for my SharePoint here, and I will click on SharePoint and I will search for update. And here you see update an item. We are going to use this particular action. And again, I will need to choose my site address. That is nothing, this training one. I will choose my list name. That is my employee list. And here I need to pass a good value, ID here. So I can get ID from here. Okay, so you see here, I'm easily getting it. Okay, so I want to change the status, right? So I want to make this employee ID as inactive. So I will click on this inactive and let me save my flow. So I want to change status of this 98 employee ID user. So I'm going to test this. I will hit my manual button. I will say test. Okay, here I will need to enter my employee ID. I will say 98. Let me run the flow. Let me click on done. Our flow runs successfully. And let's go to our SharePoint. Let me refresh this. So you see the status is inactive now. And let us assume now we want to delete the same record. Okay, so I will only need to do a small modification here. So this will be like this only. Here I will ask, please enter which employee record you want to delete. Okay, this will be as usual. Here I am simply reading. I'm going to only read the employee ID which here will be passed. I will compare it. And then instead of update, now I will use my delete item operation. So let me delete this one first. I will add an action and I will say delete. Oh, yeah, I will need to go here, SharePoint, and then I will say delete. We have this option delete item. I'm going to select my site here, which is nothing but this one. Then here I need to select my list name, that is my employee list. Here again I need to pass the unique identifier, that is nothing, the get value that I can easily get from my get item. So I will select this. That's it in delete operation, because you want to delete this record, right? So you don't have any other column here. So let me test this. I'll just save and test. And I want to delete my employee ID 98. That is this one. So I will click on run flow. Let me click on done. And this is completed. So I will refresh my SharePoint list. Here you see now we only have one record with us. So in this video we have seen how we can create a list and even like how to create a SharePoint, and then we have also seen how we can do all this operation, like that is read, write, delete and update. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video.